Welcome to episode 132 of Meet the Gimp. My name is Rolf Steinort and I'm recording this in Bremen, northern Germany. And as you see here, today we are going to Japan. I have first a legal notice. This podcast is not as usual under Creative Commons share alike. The images I'm using today are copyrighted by Martin Bailey, and so you are not allowed to do anything with them outside of this podcast here. Why I'm using these images? Well, Martin asked me to play a bumper for his show, and I have to make this bumper, because he only does an audio show and I wanted to have some visuals. And as there was a question in the forum, I've forgotten who asked it, how to make a slideshow with Cinelerra, I think I can do both. Give you a pointer to Martin Bailey's podcast and give you a small introduction into Cinelerra. This week and next week the video will be a little bit made in haste, because I'm, as every teacher here in Germany just at this moment, in grading hell. We have the grades to write up to the 1st of February. And so I have not as much time as I love to have. So perhaps here will be some more glitches as usual. Let's start with the backdrop for the slideshow. I have this image here from Martin, who makes, by the way, breathtakingly good images, better than I could ever do. And it's not only the equipment that is lacking, it's certainly the talent, and he is around at times of the day where I simply love to sleep. I want to use this image as a backdrop for the video. And of course I want to have it full frame, in the format you're looking at just now. Let's cut it up. I go here and say I want to have an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. And now I choose a size here which is good. Of course I have to blow this image up a little bit. And now I'm looking for a crop. A good crop. I think this is okay. So now let's blow this image up. I go to Image, Scale Image, and I want to have a width of 1280 pixels. And now I should get 720. Well, it's a little bit a rounding error, 721. I need 720 for Cinelerra, so I unchain these two values here and go here to 720. And now I just scale the image. And now you see that this image was saved for web conditions. We have here halos and so, but this doesn't matter, because I'll blur this image. It should be recognizable Japanese, but it should be not too distracting from the images I want to show in the video. So let's go to Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and look which blur gives us a nice blurry image, but which is still recognizable. 5 is not enough. This is too much. But I think this is okay. And now it would be nice to have the URL of the podcast here. So I open the text tool, choose a color, and I want to write it in this color here. My foreground color has changed here, and I want to have the text here. Having the link in the clipboard allows for extremely fast typing here. So here is the text. Let's get this a little bit larger. I think this is okay. Now let's move this a bit. Just here to the bottom. And now let's change this as a JPEG. Background JPEG. At first I have to check if the parameters of my project are right. So I go to Settings, Format. And here we are. My audio has one channel, just in front from you. And I have a frame rate of 25 per second. The audio is 44-100. I have my settings here, 1280 by 720, and I have no distorted ratio. We could use here anamorphic stuff or something like that, but we don't need this. So this is okay here, and I can close this. There are a lot more important settings in the preferences, but I won't cover them here. I'll post my settings into the blog, into the show notes, and I have to confess it's a little bit of black magic in there, which I don't really understand everything of. So if you want to do anything different than me, you have to look it up. Let's load something. I'll start with the audio Martin sent me. I have it here in a WAV file. And here on the bottom you see the key status monitor, which shows which keys or mouse keys I'm pressing. This sound clip is 28 seconds long, and I can adjust the size, the width of my window here with this ruler or with a mouse wheel. So I can go to 12 seconds, or I can even go into very fine-grained stuff here and see every waveform here. You can cut away a single frame or a blip here or something like that. So let's go back to, and here is the wave. Let's just play this. I have no idea if you have heard this. I fear you haven't. I think it was only on my earphones. So let's go back here and I switch this off. And now let's add the background. I add a video track and I open a new file with the key O and have here my background JPEG. And I paste it at the insertion point. This here is an important part. Here you can select different ways where and how to insert something, and I just paste at the insertion point. And here we have it. So let's have a look. I have here the windows, the available windows, and I select here the compositor. The compositor is my output window. The compositor is fully zoomable. I can make this larger and smaller. I prefer to have here the small image and keep this here open. Of course, I don't want to stop here at second 5 or so. When I click here, we have nothing. Here we have the image. I want to display the image through the whole video. So I go with my mouse here from the left side to this border, click and draw. There are some different things to do with coming from the left side, from the right side, and so on. You can move them around, but I won't cover this now. You have to look it up. Now when I start the video, we have here this image, the background. But I want this image to fade in. And for that we have here this white line. You can see it. Now it's vanished. Now There with 3 you can toggle it. With this you can set the volume of the sound and the opacity of an image. So let's just click here on this white line. I think a 4 seconds fade in would be nice. I click here and put an anchor here in a keyframe. And now I do the same here and pull this down. So let's have a look again. Play. And you see this fades in. Well, now I want to have some silence here in front. And for that I want to move the audio a little bit to the right. So let's change here to the drag and drop editing mode. Now I can just click this here. I should be able to, well, now I am. Sometimes you have to click several times. Now I can move this around, and here we are. And well, I didn't want to play this backwards. Let's just look now here. Silence, 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 music, and here we are. Of course we need a fade out at the end. I'll do just the same as I did before. And pull this down. You see, we have soft curves here. I could make this curve straight with this menu option, keyframes, and straighten curves if they are selected. Now the basic work has been done, and I don't want to change these 2 tracks anymore. So I switch them off here. They are now not armed, and now I can click here and do something. It doesn't change anything. I have 10 images that I can show in this short clip, and I think I won't use them all. I want to have this a little bit calm. Martin is a calm guy, and so nothing hectic here. Let's go to Open again, Load Files. I could have done this with O. And select here Create New Resources Only. And now I select all his images here and click on OK. There is an error. One image here has an odd dimension. It may not decode properly. Well, we have a look. We'll see if this really happens. Now I want to add a video track or several video tracks to fade these images in or to zoom them in, to move them around. Now I'm adding a track. I can name the track here. If you think of these tracks as layers in Gimp, you use basically the same steps. We have an opacity slider here. We have don't set to output. This is the eye. Here we can switch on and off if this media is drawn, if I can see the waveform here. By the way, the waveform, the visible waveform here in the audio is my main criteria for such a tool, because now I can say exactly I want to start something here. Here the language starts again. Here should an image go up. And if I'm cutting my own show, I can see, oh, cut this away. I stumbled over my tongue here, or something like that. Of course, this audio here is perfect. Now I need another window, and this is the resources window. Here are my resources, and the resources is not only the media here, it's also clips which I've cut out of the video. We don't have this here. It's video transitions, audio transitions, video effects, which are a lot, audio effects, and of course here the media that I'm interested in. I won't use any effects here today. With a right click here I can display icons and see here the images. I want to start with this image here. Right click on it and paste. I think I haven't put enough emphasis on this here. This track is armed, and anything I do is working on this track alone and on any other track that I had armed. So let's move this around a bit, and I want to start this coming up here. Let's have a look how this is working out. Here is the image. Of course, having this image pop up just this is, well, nasty. One thing we could do is let this image zoom in. And I'll have it fade out here in the end. For understanding this zooming, we have to look a little bit at a metaphor here in Cinelerra. Just imagine a projector which projects on this screen here, and a camera which looks at the screen and films it. And we can adjust the camera, which films this area here, or we can adjust the projector. And I want only to adjust the projector. I keep my hands away from the camera. So when I make this projection screen smaller, larger, move it around, then I'm moving this image here. Let's just try this. I'm going to here, and I grab the projector. You see the image moves. And I can click here, show tool info, take this here, and I can center this again, and here is my image in the center. You see here I can control all the aspects of X, Y, and Z. Z is the zoom of the projection here. The zoom is 1 now, and I want to control the zoom as I had controlled here the background, as I had controlled the opacity of the background, and this can be done here in a window called Show Overlays. And I want to control now projector Z. Here it is. I move this away, it's still open. Here are the values of projector Z, and I just say I want to fade in, let's say up to here. I click and have here my key, and now I click here in the beginning and pull this down. Now let's check. I'm going to click here. You see here Z. I click here. I click here. You see the different values here, and see how the image zooms in. Let's switch this off here, this off, and just play this segment. Perhaps a little bit too fast or so. Perhaps this should start a little bit later. So I move this here. You see this automation doesn't move with it. I go to here, pull this down. This is a little bit kludgy here, but well, who cares? Now I click away projector Z and click in fade. I could have done this with the 3, and let's just fade this out and go to transparency here. Again, have a look. The image zooms in, is there, and fades out. Perhaps a little bit longer, pull this up. And here the end and the keyframe were in the same location, so I pulled them both. Well, let's add another one. And I put that on a separate track. It's the same as in Gimp. Just use a new track for everything you do, because it's a lot easier to keep the control. So here the image is fading out, And of course we now can zoom in another image. Let's take two images. Let's take two floral images. We had here one. Let's put this one here. Paste. And take another one. Let's move this over to the left. And now I'm in luck because I hadn't disarmed this track. And I was in luck because I moved only the top one here. Let me center this vertically. And I need another track. And I want to load this image. Do they work together? And move this to the right. Well, this is not high precision work here. Usually I would work on a larger screen and see more here, but well, it will work out. I declare this distances equal here. This time I want to move the images. I want to move these images from left and right into the frame while this here is going down. First, let's make them longer. I have both tracks armed and both react here. Let's phase them out at the end. I'm a bit over the edge here with my window, I see. Okay. So let's say we fade out here. And you see the keyframe here is on both. I'm controlling both of them. And now I want to see not projection Z, but projection X. And I want to work only with my top track now, with this here from the right. And you see here, I have no line here for the projection X. This is because the value of X here is 300, and this is way out of my range here. And I can control the range here with X minus 100 to 100, and I can set this here to larger values. And I can also type in here, let's say minus 1000 to 1000. And this should work. And you see here the lines are coming in. And it's again the same game. I click here, set a point, and then I can move this here around. You see this was the wrong way. I'm just pulling this up, and here it is out of the image. And so if the time marches on, let's go here to the start and play this segment. You see here this comes in and stops. Of course we have to do the same now with the other track. I arm this track. I set the same point. I hope I should have controlled this better. I could have set the track, the point, while the two tracks were armed, and then de-armed one of them. But okay, it's this way now. And I pull this here down. I have no idea why this isn't shown now. So let's look. This fades out and these two come in. Can have a look, and now they fade out. And now the time for the video is nearly over. We have only 8 seconds left, and I don't think I should waste another one of Martin's images here. Let's have a look at the full video. I just pulling this up, going to the start, and switching this off here. I don't want to see this. Okay, I switch this off here, switch this off here. This is, by the way, protects the video from changes herein. Here I can zoom the view here of the video, but I don't use this. Here I can edit masks. You can use masks like in Gimp with the layers. This is a projector, no, the camera, this is a projector. Here I can crop a layer and get a color out of it and so on. So let's play this now. Zooming in. Fading out and plopping in from the side. Fading out and fading out the final image. And I think I shouldn't do any more to this. One thing is left, rendering. I go to File and Render. It's out of the window here. I choose a file format from here for the video only. Let's only render for the video. And I choose this here, Youth MPEG Stream. This is the pure video data. So I insert nothing and I just click on OK. 30 seconds took 49 seconds to render. Now I go again to render and render the audio. And I choose Microsoft Wave for that. This is a lot faster. Now I have two files here. One is my WAV file and one here, you see, 1 gigabyte, nearly 1 gigabyte, is my video file. And I can process them with FFmpeg and other tools to the final output I want to have. And this was it for this week. Just a small introduction into Cinelerra. It's a beast of a tool, and if you have ever complained about the usability of Gimp, well, here is more to complain. One of the most important keys in the tool was a long time the S key. Just save the stuff. I haven't saved this here, okay. But this has become a lot better. But as much as I have to complain about stability and usability, it can do everything I can imagine about video. And it's free, like Gimp. And with this, I say goodbye. Have a look at the forum, post some comments in the blog, and now have a look at Martin Bailey's video clip, and of course visit his homepage.
Hi, I'm Martin Bailey, a photographer based in Japan, and I run a weekly photography podcast and blog that I know you're going to love. I explain my techniques, thought processes and the artistic decisions behind my images, all illustrated with my own real-world examples. Search for Martin Bailey Photography Podcast in iTunes or visit martinbaileyphotography.com for links. See you there.
Oh, it's me again, with just two comments. First, I forgot to re-enable the audio, and so had no sound with the video. And then I noticed that the quality is not really good. And that is because the settings I use for the video are for stuff that is static mostly, and the only thing that moves is the mouse pointer. And, well, this saves a lot of bandwidth. I put a high quality version into the companion file of this podcast. You'll find it at meetthegimp.org at episode 132. And with this, I say finally goodbye. and have a look at Martin's page.
Photocastnetwork.com, your photography resource in the podosphere. Photocastnetwork.com